Fly, Eagles, fly. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now, live here on Chat Sports. Chase Senior here with you on the eve of Thanksgiving, the biggest drinking night of the year. I hope all of you out there are having a fantastic day. And if you're traveling for Thanksgiving, safe travels and enjoy your time with your respective families. Philadelphia Eagles Now, speaking of food, is presented today by ButcherBox, a fantastic deal that we want to tell you about. This Black Friday, ButcherBox is offering our viewers and our listeners one of the best steak deals. Get two. That's two 10-ounce ribeyes for free in every box for a whole year when you join ButcherBox. Plus, you get an additional $10 off. Sign up today at butcherbox.com/NFL Daily and make sure you use the code NFL Daily so that they know that Chat Sports sent you. ButcherBox takes the guesswork out of finding high-quality meat and seafood that you can trust. 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork raised crate-free, and wild-caught seafood. Humanely raised, no antibiotics or added hormones. Get just what you want delivered right to your doorstep. This is awesome. Free shipping for the continental United States with no surprise fees. Choose from a variety of box plan options from curated to customized and change your plan whenever you want. One more time, that's butcherbox.com/NFL Daily, and make sure you use the promo code NFL Daily so that they know that Philadelphia Eagles Now sent you. Big game coming up on Sunday Night Football. We will be doing a watch party for this game. Green Bay coming to Lincoln Financial Field in South Philadelphia at 4-7. Aaron Rodgers, banged up. We'll talk about him coming up around the corner. And the Eagles have an opportunity to go up against a pretty elite quarterback who, yes, is having a down year, but is 4-2 against this franchise and officially put the Packers in the ground. You can bury Green Bay, and you can continue to improve on your NFC East best 9-1 record and build your lead for that number one seed in the NFC. Nick Stone, wide receiver plug, all going with Philadelphia. Jack McCubbin, Philadelphia as well. Who you got? PHI for the Bird Gang, GB for the Green Bay Packers. Tisha Edmonds, SFSF. I saw you on the Niners Report yesterday. Brian Borstein also in the chat. After recent play calling on the offensive side of the ball, this next game has me concerned. Kara Poole, the Eagles Now mother, saying hello. Wide receiver plug, are you going to be live on the Niners one today? Nope, that was yesterday, but I will be live on Sunday. Cool Rains, Philadelphia. Jack, Philadelphia. Who you got? Get those game predictions in right now and let us know. Kara Poole, Birds, Kylie C, EAGLES. Now, just after midnight tonight/tomorrow, I'm going to be traveling back up to the Philadelphia area to see some friends and family members for Thanksgiving. Where will you all be for Thanksgiving? Let me know in the comments section. You staying home? If so, shout out your state, your town, your city. Where will you be for Thanksgiving? Excited to see girlfriend Kira's family, my family as well, and I'm going back up to the Northeast late tonight. Brian, I do believe Philly wins this game. Wide receiver plug, gonna stay home. Safe travels, Chase Elijah. Thank you, my guy. Jack McCubbin, Connecticut. Wide receiver, California. Tisha, LA. Staying home in Tucson, Arizona from Ernesto. Kara Poole, Virginia, staying home, cooking, watching football. Kara Poole, that's the life. Where's the invite? Come on now. Happy Thanksgiving, Kara, from Brian. Kylie C, going to be in Arkansas as we have people tuned in from all across the globe. Speaking of this game on Sunday night between Philadelphia and Green Bay, Birds will be debuting their black uniforms, but for the first time, black helmets as well. So let me ask you this question. The best Eagles jersey is which one? M for midnight green, W for the white unis, or B for the black unis? Which is your favorite? Let us know. Type M, W, or B. And here's a look at those new Eagles black helmets and a couple of the players rocking those all black uniforms. We have seen the black uniforms in the past, and for our watch party on Sunday, I'm going to be rocking a black jersey as well just to fit the vibe. But the black helmets are new, and they're some of the iciest jerseys across the entire National Football League. Wide receiver plug saying the midnight green jerseys are the best. Tisha said, wow. Brian, sounds great. Best Eagles jerseys, which ones? Midnight green, white, or black? Waffle Crusher, B. Tisha Edmonds likes the white jerseys. Elijah going in order. Black, midnight green, white. You know what I like, Elijah? When they go all white, but very rare occasions in which they trot out and sport those uniforms. Jalen, B this year. Kelly Green for next year. Those Kelly Green jerseys coming back are going to be awesome. Nick Stone going B. Jack, midnight green as well. Want you to show love to our other presenting sponsor, Established Titles. And a lot of people getting that notification. They're piling into the show. We'll start the official show here in just a couple of minutes. But support the show and show some love to our sponsor, Established Titles, by just typing ET right now in the comment section. I want everybody to type ET in the comment section. If you like our show, they're all free, all the videos that we push out. And what makes our content possible is some of these sponsors like Butcher Bucks and Established Titles. So let's tell you about Established Titles, a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. It's a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds, lords, and ladies in English. You can buy title packs, which give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land right here in Edelston, Scotland. That comes with a certificate as well. And that certificate is awesome because you can be referred to as Lord or a Lady or a Laird. And I am now referred to as Lord Chase Sr., and I have that certificate as well. You could officially include that title, Lord, Lady, Laird, on your credit card, plane tickets, and dating profiles. This makes for a great last-minute gift, and the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using our link will be next to my plot and Trizzy Trace's plot as he is back from New Orleans. A lot of people excited to see him once again. It makes for an amazing last-minute gift. Established Titles running a massive early sale right now with discounts up to 80% off. Plus, if you use the code CHAT, you get an additional 10% off. So that is establishedtitles.com/chat. I'm going to put that link in the comment section right now, and then we're going to start the show here in just a couple of minutes. Appreciate everybody for supporting the sponsor there. Kylie C., Elijah, Nick Stone, Camden Redden, Kara, Tom Thompson. We appreciate that. That link for Established Titles is in the chat right now. All right, I know it is the biggest drinking day of the year, but I'm trying to save some beers for Thanksgiving, and I'm also traveling tonight, so we're going to save the beers for another show. We'll get down to party on our Sunday Night Football watch party. I hope you all join us. So we're going to save beers for Thanksgiving, but we're still going to have fun on the program today. So for every $5 super chat, I'm going to ring the Liberty Bell. And I have a whole bag of goodies here. So $5 super chat, we ring the Liberty Bell. $10, we're going to put your name on the Rocky gloves. They're going to go to Alling, but any $10 super chat that comes in, we'll put them on the Rocky gloves. $20, we have a cheese grater here. FGB, because Philadelphia hosting the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. We'll grate some cheese just like this. FGB, 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 FGB. So we'll get that chant on. For $50, we will bring on a cowboy rocking a clown mask with this phony Cowboys chain. We'll do that for a $50 super chat, and for a $100 donation, Fly Eagles Fly theme song and the No One Likes Us song. So that's all coming up.
Guys.
Here's the boxing glove as well. We have so many names on this from our watch party last week. More than 40,000 people joined us, so I appreciate everybody for that. $10 or more, your name gets put on the Rocky glove here. We're going to be sending this to Alling. He won our Super Chat contest during that Sunday watch party. We have the Liberty Bell here, and I also have the Eagles foam head on top of this cheese grater because it's FGB all throughout this week. So that is our Super Chat menu. 100 people watching live, 37 likes. Make sure you hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. And I have to bring back my boy Trace Gerard because he was missing last week. A lot of people were asking about him. He's okay. In fact, he's right here with me. Trizzy Trey, say what's up to the people.
What's good? Hi, guys. I missed y'all. I really missed y'all so much. But it's good to be back. Guys, get the FGBs in the chat. Like the video. Let's get, if you think Aaron Rodgers should be in jail, type jail because he's a criminal. Get it, light up the chat, like the video, share the content, and let's get this party started, guys. Come on now.
Bang, Elijah!
Bang! Elijah knows what
super
to do.
chat. So we're going to bring on the cowboy clown with the chain. So we're going to do this right now. And the Cowboy fan's going to come on in the chain. It's always F Dallas. It's always F Dallas. That is the motto. But this week, It's also FGB. So F Dallas put it into the chat, and FGB. F Dallas is the year-round motto because we hate them Cowboys. And honestly, it's going to be weird to have to root on the New York Giants on Thanksgiving as those two teams are set to meet. But this week as well, Aaron Rodgers is 4-2 against Philadelphia with some really difficult losses. The Packers are down in the dumps. They're struggling mightily this year. So too is Aaron Rodgers. So it's FGB on Sunday Night Football. And again, hope that you all join our watch party. All right.
Trade that.
How about them Cowboys? F Dallas, F Dallas, F Dallas, F Dallas.
Trade Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, MVP.
Look at this cowboy clown right here. Get out of here. Cowboy clown. They are clowns. Cowboy fans are the same ones who root on the Kentucky Wildcats, the New York Yankees, and the Los Angeles Lakers. They're just front runners all the time. Elijah! Thank you for that $50 super chat. We'll ring the Liberty Bell as well. Kara Poole saying, I don't know, Dallas smacked a Vikings team playing after 1 p.m. You know what was funny? People were trying to give me legitimate reasons for why the Vikings were good and better than the Eagles, and they said, oh, come on, the Eagles played Kirk Cousins in prime time. And I'm expected to think that Kirk Cousins is good when he never plays well in primetime. Come on now. That's why the Minnesota Vikings are fraudulent. Wide receiver plug, F Dallas. Camden, F Dallas. Elijah, hope they end in a tie. Cowboys-Giants ending in a tie would be something. And it would also just make this NFC East race completely ridiculous and wild. Delaware, type in F Dallas as well. Here's the deal. About 100 people watching live right now, 43 likes. Got to get to 50 likes before we start the show. So if you're pumped up to get into all this, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Good news, too, by the way. Tim Timmy is back. He is around. He is okay. He was in the comment section during our show yesterday, and I commented. I said, Tim Timmy, where you been? He said, sorry, man, just dealing with some business and personal matters. So because of that, I've been missing. But I did tell him that we're going to be live. So if Tim Timmy comes back, that'll be a celebration. If you want to send in a picture of you watching the show today, we'll get you featured on the show. All you have to do is hit me up on Twitter at Chase_Senior and Instagram at Chase_Senior as well. Send a selfie of you watching the show. You pointing to the screen. We want to see you in these photos, and we want to see you on Philadelphia Eagles now. So hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior if you want to be featured during our live show today. And, of course, we'll be having a lot of fun on Sunday Night Football as well. All right, coming up to start the show here as we got past 51 likes. Some interesting Eagles rumors here. Is Nick Sirianni going to lose some big-time coaches on his coaching staff? That's what we're diving into right now. The show is officially starting, so if you're coming in after getting that notification, buckle up. It's about to go down. Let's talk about the Birds right now. All right, welcome into the show. This is Philadelphia Eagles, now by Chat Sports. Chase Senior here with you. Another loaded show on the docket. Here's what we're discussing. Could Nick Sirianni and the Philadelphia Eagles lose 3 big-time coaches on his coaching staff? That's what we're going to explore. But first, I have to thank everybody out there, and this comes from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate all of your support of Philadelphia Eagles now. Overnight, we were able to surpass 36,000 subscribers, and it's my goal as a guy who grew up in the Philadelphia area to make this the go-to Philadelphia Eagles YouTube channel out there. So if you want videos every single day on the Birds, Fly Eagles Fly, EAGLES, lock us in and subscribe today. So here's what we're discussing here. Nick Sirianni, is he going to lose some coaches on his coaching staff? Tom Pelissero put together his annual Young NFL Coaches to Watch list as potential candidates for 2023. He named 3 Eagles assistants. And when you're a good team in the NFL, your assistants get poached. That's just what happens. That's the reality of the situation. You look at past Super Bowl winners, right? Whether it be the Eagles from a couple of years ago when Frank Reich left and Jim Schwartz got a couple of interviews, or Bill Belichick over the years. Andy Reid has had to deal with the same issues as well. Other teams are going to see that organization having success, and they want some of those ingredients to sprinkle on their respective organization, and that's why they're going to try to get that next young hot head coach. And Tom Pelissero talked about 3 Eagles assistants, which I'm excited to break down. So, coach number 1, who got 3 head coaching interviews last year and is expected to be a hot commodity in the 2023 cycle. This is controversial, but it is Jonathan Gannon, the current defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, who has this unit firing on all cylinders, much more so as compared to last year. And if you think I'm lying, we have some numbers to back that up. Here's what Pelissero had to say about Jonathan Gannon, the Eagles DC. It won't be a surprise if several members of Nick Sirianni's young staff are in demand for head coaching interviews in this cycle. Sirianni himself is another alum of this list, as Pelissero has done it the last several years for NFL.com. Gannon interviewed last year for head coaching jobs with the Broncos, Vikings, and Texans, who brought him back for a second time, did Houston. And the Eagles' improvement on defense should make him an even hotter name this time around. And that's why Jonathan Gannon is going to get head coaching opportunities. He's young. He's on the rise. He's gone through a lot of steps in his individual coaching career, and he is a protege of some previous quality head coaches in the league. And the Eagles' defense, most importantly, has improved dramatically to historic levels from 2021 now to 2022. Yards per game, second in the NFL. 300 plus. Takeaways, they are number 1 in the NFL. Interceptions, they also rank atop all 32 teams in the National Football League with 13. C.J. Gardner-Johnson has a league-leading 6. What a trade by Howie Roseman, by the way. Yards per play, also first. When you watch this Eagles defense, it doesn't feel as though the Eagles are top 2 in all of these categories, but they are. And from last year to this year, take a look at this progress for Gannon. Howie Roseman certainly deserves some credit for this Eagles defense playing better because he has better personnel on this Eagles roster, but look at the jump from a year ago to this year's campaign. Opposing completion percentage. Last year, the Eagles, 32nd in the NFL, is one of the worst of all time. This year, they're 4th. Interception ratio from 21st to 5th. Passing yards, 21st to 5th. Passing yards per game. Last year, the Eagles were 10th, which was pretty solid. This year, even better, atop the NFL. And total interceptions. All last year in 17 games, the Eagles were able to register 12 picks. This year, they already have more than that through 10 games with 13. And when a team improves that much, like we just showed you, you're going to get head coaching buzz. And that is why Jonathan Gannon is expected to be an interviewee for some candidates for some vacant head coaching positions in 2023. So with that, let's ask you this. Just give me a simple grade of what you think Gannon has been able to do as the Eagles DC. Has he been doing a good job? G for good, B for bad. Let me know right now. Coach number 2, mentioned by NFL insider Tom Pelissero. Shane Steichen, offensive coordinator, who is calling plays this year and did take over play calling duties from Nick Sirianni last year. Offensive play callers are always of the utmost highest demand in the NFL, and that's why I think Steichen could get a head coaching job as early as 2023, although for him, I might come back another year and go through another season as an OC to get myself primed and ready for a head coaching position. Tom Pelissero on Steichen this time. He has overseen the Eagles' offensive rise since taking over play calling duties last year and has a good reputation going back to his days with the Los Angeles Chargers. And with the Los Angeles Chargers, I know that they're an organization that really does struggle to have sustainable winning teams, right? But they've also had pretty good offenses, and Shane Steichen was a part of some of those offenses. Here is his rise. Offensive quality control coach with the Chargers 2014, 2015, so he did have some connections with Frank Reich several years ago. Quarterbacks coach with the Chargers from 2016 to 2019 under Anthony Lynn. Interim OC and full-time offensive coordinator, splitting those duties in 2019-20, and the last 2 years, he's been the Eagles' offensive coordinator, and then last year, after Nick Sirianni originally called the plays, he then take over as the offensive coordinator. Eagles 2022 offensive rankings, they've been fantastic under Steichen. His leadership, his play calling, the timeliness of some of those calls that he sends into Jalen Hurts, and the development of Jalen Hurts, which we'll get to around the corner. A big reason why he too well respected across the NFL. Points per game, the Eagles right now, 4th, 26.3 yards per game. They rank 5th. passing yards per game. They're 12th with the quarterback, who I don't think is an elite passer, but more of an all-around weapon. And then rushing yards per game. You're getting it done through the air, getting it done on the ground as well. That's why Steichen is respected, 6th in the NFL in those rushing yards. Before we continue to keep it moving, one more coach to get to and potential replacements. Two names who you know very, very well, who do have Pennsylvania and Eagles ties. We want to tell you about Established Titles first. Head to establishedtitles.com/chat for 10% off. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. It's a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds, lords, and ladies in English. You can buy title packs, which give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land right here with a unique plot number on this private estate in Edelston, Scotland. That also comes with an official certificate with the crest that gets customized for you. They plant a tree with every order and work with global charities, One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future, to support global reforestation efforts. I was talking about that crest. Here is mine. I am now called Lord Chase Sr. And speaking of being called Lord, you could add the title Lord or Lady on your credit cards, plane tickets, and dating profiles. This is the best and most unique last-minute gift. The first 200 people can get a plot of land next to me. And with Black Friday coming up on Friday, you can save 10% off by using the code chat at establishedtitles.com/chat. And that goes on top of already what is on the site, deals up to 80% off. We'll put that link in the comment section and the description of this video. Really appreciate Established Titles for being the presenting sponsor of Philadelphia Eagles. Now, going back to Steichen, and then this kind of goes into the next coach who we're going to talk about. It's the growth of Jalen Hurts. And Steichen has overseen Hurts' development and jump in play through the air in 2021 and here in 2022. This is a graphic that I love looking at because it goes to show you how Jalen Hurts has been able to accelerate in his development as a passer. Year one, the completion percentage was down, sub 52%. I think a big reason for that, a lot of throwaways, and that offensive line was bad. So too were the skill position players. But either way, to go from 52% completion percentage, sub that in 2020, all the way up to 68% here in 2022, those are the mechanical changes and the coaching that he is getting from Shane Steichen, but also by another guy who we're about to talk about. And these two hires, Shane Steichen and the next coach who we're about to discuss, great moves by Nick Sirianni. And when a quarterback in an offense takes such a big leap, you are going to be a hot commodity for a head coaching job. That's why we're talking about Jonathan Gannon on this list. That's why we're talking about Shane Steichen and the next guy, Brian Johnson. First, though, with Jalen Hurts, EA Sports, it's in the game. The real ones know. If you were playing Madden, what would Jalen Hurts' overall Madden rating be, and what should it be right now? I want you to rate him on the Madden scale from 1 to 100. Now we shift gears to coach number 3, the aforementioned Brian Johnson. This guy, when he played at Utah in the early 2000s, was slinging the rock. He was insane. Sugar Bowl MVP back in 2009 while playing at Utah. And this guy, I think, is one of the more under-talked about prospective head coaches coming up here in 2023 or 2024. This guy is on a meteoric rise right now. More background on Johnson. This coming from Tom Pelissero on top of what he said about Steichen and Gannon. Johnson was a prolific college quarterback at Utah who returned to the Utes as a coach and subsequently became the youngest FBS offensive coordinator at age 24. He has mentored the likes of Dak Prescott, Kyle Trask, and now Jalen Hurts, whose dad coached Brian Johnson when he was in high school. And Johnson's numbers at Utah, we were just talking about Madden, they were video game-like numbers. He completed 66% of his passes for 10,000 yards from 2004 to 2008, 57 tutties to 22 picks, 2009 Sugar Bowl MVP, and a quarterback rating of 144.2. Him being the youngest offensive coordinator in college at that ripe age, it wasn't really a surprise because this guy got right into coaching after his playing career. Never made it to the NFL. 2010 to 2013, quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator for the Utes, where he graduated from and starred. 2014 to 2016, quarterbacks coach at Mississippi State. 2017 with Houston, offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Then he was under Dan Mullen, 2018 to 2020, OC and quarterbacks coach. And what a hire it was by Nick Sirianni to bring him in as the quarterbacks coach the last couple of years. I think that his relationship with Jalen Hurts, his familiarity with number one, has benefited him as a coach and Jalen Hurts as a player, and that relationship with Hurts was a smart reasoning behind why Nick Sirianni brought him in, on top of him just being on that trajectory of being that next hot young head coach. Very, very smart by Sirianni, and with the Eagles having a lot of success the last 2 years, Sirianni, by the way, 16-4 in his last 20 regular season games, he's going to start to build his coaching tree, which is pretty impressive given his young inexperienced level as an NFL head coach when talking about Sirianni. So of those three guys, the first Eagles coach to get a head coaching job in the Sirianni tree, who's it going to be? Drop me a name right now. A few scenarios to watch out for if some of these coaches do leave. If Shane Steichen leaves, the natural, organic move is for Johnson to elevate from quarterbacks coach to offensive coordinator. So keep an eye out for that. If Jonathan Gannon were to leave, I think that Vic Fangio is done as a head coach in this league. Right now, he's a consultant with the Philadelphia Eagles. He grew up in Dunmore, which is 2 hours north of Philadelphia, neighboring town of Scranton. If Gannon were to leave, I think Vic Fangio steps in as a defensive coordinator. One, he's already here. Two, familiarity in state. He gets to stay in Pennsylvania as he's starting to get a little bit older, and this Eagles defense is still going to have a lot of stud playmakers for him to use at his disposal. Another scenario, if Johnson and Steichen both leave, how about this guy comes over to Philadelphia, returns where he was an assistant under Doug Peterson, and now he would be an assistant under Nick Sirianni when he used to be Nick Sirianni's boss in Indianapolis when Sirianni was there prior to coming to Philadelphia. Or a handful there, but Reich reunites with Sirianni to be the OC, in my opinion. I think it's a logical move if he doesn't get a head coaching job, if Brian Johnson and Shane Steichen were to leave. Or if Brian Johnson left, to maybe be a play caller as an OC somewhere else because Steichen came back. You're not going to relieve him of his duties. Then maybe Reich can be the quarterback's coach. He was the offensive coordinator for Dougie P back in 2017 when the Birds won Super Bowl 52. Before we hop on out of here, this is why you subscribe to the show. And whenever a big move happens, we'll let you know. That's why it's important for you to subscribe and turn on your notifications, because anything that happens with this football team, we have you covered with daily videos year-round. Appreciate the support. Lock us in and subscribe today. All right. Who's in the comment section right now? Parlay, Camden, Raymond, Nate Stuff, Delaware, John O'Malley, Carapool, Andrew Gigi, wide receiver plug, done. Thank you for subscribing. Camden Redden, 88-90. Parlay, Carson Wentz got Doug, Frank, and now maybe Rivera fired. I don't think Rivera's going to get fired because Taylor Heineke and maybe Carson Wentz is now going to get benched. And he is getting benched as of right now. My own perspective with the $2 super chat, Real One Roll Call. Thank you, my own perspective, for your donation there. We'll ring the Liberty Bell for you, my guy. Do appreciate everybody for tuning in here. Locked and Loaded show. We still have 3 segments left to get to. $52 in super chats. My own perspective. You are the man. Speaking of that super chat menu, here it is. We're going to save some beers for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to try to get through the show without having any beers. Unless we got, I don't know, a $200 super chat, then I might shotgun a beer. $5 super chat. We'll ring the Liberty Bell, but for my own perspective, had to ring it for a true OG. $10, your name on these Rocky gloves. We sign your name in addition to everybody else who we put on here. $20 super chat. Eagles hosting the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. FGB. FGP. We're going to grate some cheese and get rid of those cheese heads. $50 super chat. We bring on the Cowboy Clown. We already did that thanks to Elijah. And for a $100 super chat, consecutive singing of the Fly Eagles Fly theme song. And no one likes us. No one likes us. We don't care. We'll do that as well. Aeneas FGB. Camden Wren FGB. You know what to do. Also, later on, start getting your questions in right now, folks, because I want to to have you featured on a fan mailbag. So if you have any questions about the Philadelphia Eagles, the NFL playoffs, NFC playoffs, and you want to get featured on the show with a question or a take or a comment, use the hashtag Eagles so that producer Trizzy Trace, when going through all the comments here, can filter them out. When you use the hashtag Eagles, better yet, Super Chat allows you to skip the line. So that's what we'll do at the end of the show. We'll answer your questions. Up until that point, coming up next, going to take a look at the Eagles NFC playoff picture, some of these playoff odds, clinching scenarios, and all that stuff. The Eagles right now 9-1 with 7 games left. That's what's coming up right now. 69 likes, which is very nice, but can we continue to hit that thumbs up icon and like that video? The goal for today's show, let's get past 100 likes when it's all said and done. Right now, for those of you just tuning in, NFC playoff picture, NFC East standings. We'll talk Cowboys-Giants on Thanksgiving. Let's dive into it right now. We have another stack show coming your way on Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. Chase Senior here with you. Hope all of you are enjoying your Thanksgiving holiday. On the show today, Eagles are still in first place in the NFC East. They are 9-1 with 7 games left, on a really good path right now. Every time they finish 9-1 in franchise history, they've either made it to an NFC championship game or made it to an NFC title game or a championship or a Super Bowl. We'll take a gander at the NFC playoff picture and path for Philadelphia and round out by taking a look at the upcoming schedule for the Birds. First, though, today's poll question is this. By season's end, who will have the number 1 seed in the NFC? Is it the Eagles? Type PHI. The Niners? Type SF. Minnesota? Type MIN. Or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Type TB. These are the top 4 teams seeding-wise right now in the NFC. Let us know right now in the comment section. And if it's a different team, let us know down below. We begin by taking a look at the NFC East standings. And this division going into 2022 wasn't expected to be this competitive, but it's been one of the more successful divisions in football in recent memory. And coming down the wire, going down this stretch run, it's going to be fascinating to see how things play out. I think the Eagles are the best team. I think they're the most well-rounded roster. I think they're the best coach team in the NFC East. But crazy things happen, and the Eagles, as we're about to show you with that upcoming schedule, 2 games left against the Giants, 1 game left against the Cowboys. But right now, a 2-game lead over Dallas with 1 game remaining left to play against those Cowgirls. Birds sitting nice at 9-1. Cowboys, Giants at 7-3. Commanders, they have won 4 of their last 5, sneakily making a run at a potential playoff spot at 6-5. They could be a dangerous team in the playoffs because their defense, they're very, very physical and getting back Chase Young. Thanksgiving slate. It's a really good one and an important game within this division. New York Giants on the road, AT&T Stadium in Arlington at Jerry World to play the Dallas Cowboys. Earlier this year with Cooper Rush, Dallas was able to go on the road at MetLife Stadium and come through with the win. Dallas, they thumped the Minnesota Vikings last week on a few days of rest. How are they going to play? Micah Parsons a little bit banged up. Odds makers not too concerned. Nearly double-digit point favorites against New York. -9 is the line. The over-under set for 44.5. I know that nobody's going to be rooting for either team in this matchup, but who are you pulling for on Thanksgiving? We're going to have our bellies full following a big hearty Thanksgiving meal watching this game, and it does have a lot of implications in this division and in the NFC. So who you got? NYG for the Giants, DAL for the Dallas Cowboys. It's F New York and it's F Dallas all the time, but just pick a winner. NFC playoff picture is this. Awesome graphic by our graphics team. The Birds with that number 1 seed. 2-game lead over the Minnesota Vikings because they do own the tiebreaker after beating Minnesota back in week 2 on Monday Night Football. Those Vikings at 8-2. Albeit with the loss to Dallas, they still hold on to that 2 spot. San Francisco 49ers just annihilated the Arizona Cardinals on Monday Night Football in Mexico City. They now have the division lead in the NFC West over Seattle because they beat Seattle back in week 2 as well. So they're in that 3 spot. Look out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This could be a dangerous team for Philadelphia early in the playoffs because Tom Brady You never rule him out. They're in that 4th spot because they're the leaders of the NFC South at an even 5-5. Cowboys at 5th, 7-3. Giants right behind them at 7-3. Seattle Seahawks, the last playoff spot, at number 7 at 6-4. Other teams in the mix: Washington 6-5, Atlanta 5-6, Detroit, Dan Campbell, the Fighting Kneecaps, 4-6, Green Bay 4-7, but the Eagles have an opportunity to officially put them in the dirt. We go team by team here. Couple of big games coming up for Philadelphia here. Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football. The week after that, Tennessee Titans. So what looked to be a pretty easy schedule at the start of the year on the back end, because this divisional race is so tight with quality teams, it's all of a sudden become very, very difficult. This is why that win against the Indianapolis Colts was so big, because upcoming you have a tough Green Bay team fighting for their seasonal lives here to just try to eke by and make it into the playoffs. And the Titans, in my opinion, one of the best teams in the NFL. Always well coached by Mike Vrabel. They're very, very physical. Their defense could give this Eagles offense trouble, but the additions of Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph did help against Jonathan Taylor. Can they help coming up against Aaron Jones and Derrick Henry as well? For Minnesota, upcoming slate looks as such: New England Patriots in Week 12, New York Jets in Week 13. They just benched Zach Wilson, so former Eagle great Joe Flacco will get the start there. Coming off a 40-3 loss to Dallas at home, and Minnesota has to prove that they're not frauds, but it's Kirk Cousins. I think they are frauds. San Francisco 49ers in that 3 spot, as we just talked about. Upcoming slate looks as such against the Saints and Miami Dolphins. They're currently one of the hottest teams in the NFL. The leaders for consecutive wins right now across the league is for the San Francisco 49ers on a 3-game tear. That Miami Dolphins game, I hope it gets flexed to prime time, because that's going to be a really good matchup with Kyle Shanahan going up against his former protege in Mike McDaniel. As for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if their ground game improves and they become a more well-rounded offense, this could be a very dangerous team, because Tom Brady is still getting the job done. If you look at his numbers and you don't look at that 5-5 Bucs record, Tom Brady's actually played pretty well this year. Offensive line has been in shambles because of injuries. He has been let down by his receivers dropping some really big passes. And the Bucs, they have studs across the defensive side of the ball, and that's one of those teams that if they get hot here at the end of November into December, they can make some noise knowing it could be Tom Brady's last hurrah. As for those Dallas Cowboys, are we ever going to buy into the Cowboys as being a serious threat in the NFL playoffs when they haven't done zilch over the last quarter century plus? They can be 7-3. They can crush the Minnesota Vikings 40-3 and look good in the process until they actually do something when it matters. And Dak Prescott, Jerry Jones, I'm talking to you. I'm not buying into Dallas. Giants and Colts upcoming for Dallas. The Giants, they play the Dallas Cowboys Thursday for Thanksgiving. So obviously those of you watching this Thanksgiving Day or after the fact, keep in mind these standings leading into Thanksgiving. Week 13 against the Commanders, Wan'Dale Robinson out for the season with a torn ACL as the Giants continue to get crushed by injuries at that wide receiver spot. We're going to take a look at the Eagles' remaining schedule coming up here in just a second, but first, I want to tell you about this incredible deal from ButcherBox. This Black Friday, ButcherBox is offering our Eagles Now viewers and listeners one of their best steak deals. You can get 2 10-ounce ribeyes free in every box for a whole year when you join, plus an additional $10 off if you sign up today at butcherbox.com/NFL Daily and use the code NFL Daily. That's free ribeyes for a year plus $10 off using that link. They take the guesswork out of finding high-quality meat and seafood that you can trust. 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork-raised crate-free, and wild-caught seafood. Humanely raised, no antibiotics, and no added hormones. Get just what you want delivered right to your doorstep. Free shipping for the continental United States with no surprise garbage fees. Choose from a variety of box plan options from curated to customized and change your plan whenever you want. Enjoy a range of high-quality cuts that are hard to come by at the grocery store at an amazing value. It's butcherbox.com/NFL Daily, and I told a lot of you about my fitness journey here. I graduated graduated Temple University back in 2015. I was like 220 pounds. I'm down to 170 now. A big reason for that, I eat very healthy. I take what I put in my body very seriously. That includes some of these prime cuts from ButcherBox, and I work out. Run streak approaching 200 straight days, so I do take this stuff very seriously, and that's why I'm a huge fan of ButcherBox. We'll put that link in the comment section and the description of this video. Upcoming schedule for Philadelphia. They take on the Packers and host them on Sunday Night Football. If you're watching our live show, we'll preview this game coming up here in just a few moments. Home game against the Tennessee Titans. So the good, you get to take on the Green Bay Packers and Tennessee at home. The bad, you go on the road for 3 consecutive games against the New York Giants at MetLife. Weird stuff often happens inside that stadium against a fierce divisional foe. Growing up, I don't know about you, sometimes I hated the Giants more than the Dallas Cowboys. 18th against the Chicago Bears on the road. Justin Fields is banged up. He might be out for the rest of the season with this shoulder injury. That could be an AC issue. If that's the case, Trevor Siemian is their backup. That's obviously a game that if the Eagles lost, that would be a disaster considering where we are and where we'll be at that juncture in the regular season. Christmas Eve, I can't wait for this watch party against the Dallas Cowboys right down the road as we're coming to you from the Chat Sports National Studios in Dallas, Texas. That's going to be a huge game. So that is the upcoming schedule for the Philadelphia Eagles, and then another game against the New York Giants as well. AFC playoff picture. We just want to update you on what's going down with the AFC because a lot of you tune into the show. You're big football fans, right? So here's what's transpiring in the other conference. And maybe one of these teams could be one of the teams that the Eagles take on in Super Bowl coming up in February. So the Kansas City Chiefs, led by Andy Reid, 8-2. They have that 1 seed. The Miami Dolphins, undefeated with Tua Tagovailoa at 7-3, currently occupying that 2 spot. Tennessee Titans, we'll see them in 2 weeks. 3rd seed in the AFC. The Baltimore Ravens going to be extremely feisty. Lamar Jackson having another really good year as he tries to secure the bag. Their intense and physical defensive style of play, it's just a team that I wouldn't want to face, but Lamar Jackson's going to have to prove that he can carry the load offensively for a team in the big dance to certainly earn that money. Buffalo Bills struggling a little bit. The AFC East, better than a lot of people expected outside of Buffalo because of the Dolphins and the New England Patriots. That's why the fight Buffalo Bills 5th right now in the AFC. The team to really look out for is the Cincinnati Bengals, who right now currently own the last available spot in the AFC. Other teams in the mix, New York Jets, Los Angeles Chargers, and after that, it's a dumpster fire in the depths of that conference. So, I just want to get the good vibes going here. I hope so badly that the Philadelphia Eagles can make a deep playoff run. And to get the good vibes going, just type SB to help wish for a Super Bowl appearance for the Philadelphia Eagles. If you have to pray, get your rosary beads, whatever you got to do, drop down to a knee. Eagles make it to a Super Bowl. That would be absolutely epic. So get the good vibes going right now ahead of time. All right, we'll give you some shout-outs here. Ryan Rowe, Camden Redden, Ernesto, Go Let Dom, I love you. I love you too. Elijah, type in SB for Super Bowl. Oats, what it do. Wide receiver plug, also type in that SB. I love you. Hey, what was that emoji? This one right here? I got you. Chua Lore, what up, Chua? Super Bowl. Deborah Kaiser, Super Bowl. Delaware, can't do it. I want to see him do it. So do we all. Camden, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. Big Zay from Isaiah Daniels, what it do. Rodgers can pick apart any zone defense against Parlay. Yeah, we'll talk about Aaron Rodgers and the Packers here in just a second. 212 people watching live, a little bit of a spike in audience. Stay tuned. 2 segments still up to get to right here live on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Here is our Super Chat menu. Been a little while since we got some Super Chats. Also, 15 likes away from 100. More than 200 people watching live. Get that participation rate up. Hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. For every $5 Super Chat that we get, we're ringing the Liberty Bell. If you send in $10 or more, your name on the Rocky Gloves. $20 or more. FGB chance, and we'll grate some cheese in hopes that we can take down the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. $50, we'll bring on the Cowboy Clown. We already did that once. Cowboy fan in the clown mask. It always gets the people going. And for a $100 super chat, we'll sing the Fly Eagles Fly theme song, and no one likes us consecutively. So that is our super chat menu. Good job by all of you who hit that thumbs up icon and liked the video. We are now 9 likes away from 100. And if you want to get featured on the show, again, a couple of ways for you to do that. Use the hashtag Eagles, better yet, Super Chat, to get your questions answered right here on Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the biggest, best, most watched Eagles channel right here on YouTube. So, coming up, we're going to preview this game against the Green Bay Packers, and after that, we're going to open up the floor and answer any questions that you have. So let's get to it live on Philadelphia Eagles now. Before we start today's show, I want you to embrace debate, get into the comment section, and I want to hear from you. What is the best Philadelphia Eagles jersey? Because we're going to be previewing this game against the Green Bay Packers on the program today, and the Birds going to be debuting their brand new black helmets and wearing those awesome, clean, icy black jerseys. So what is the best Eagles jersey? I want you to type M for midnight green, W for the white jerseys, or B for the black unis. Let me know right now in the comment section. And here's a look at those new black Philadelphia Eagles helmets. That rule by the NFL that only allowed teams to have one solo helmet never made sense. You get to sell more jerseys if you have multiple helmets. And finally, they lifted that rule, which allows the Birds to rock those black jerseys, black tops, black pants, with a black helmet. Previously, when they rocked those threads, it was with the midnight green helmet. So the stage is set for Sunday Night Football. We'll be doing a watch party for this game, by the way, right here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Subscribe and join us. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, they're desperate right now. 4-7 on the season. Rodgers dealing with a major injury potentially that we'll unpack here in just a couple of moments. They need a win to save their playoff destiny. The Philadelphia Eagles, on the other hand, have the Tennessee Titans coming up in 2 weeks, and they're trying to secure and lock down that number 1 seed to get home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. And in this game, 7-point favorites with the over-under set at 46.5. Come hang out with us for our watch party. Our pregame show on Sunday night will start at 7:50 p.m. Eastern. That's 30 minutes before kickoff. When you do hit that subscribe button, if you haven't already done so, and for those of you who haven't done it, hit that bell icon and turn those notifications to all. Therefore, anytime we push out a video, anytime we go live, you will be notified. Really big buzz right now about this Aaron Rodgers injury, and this is arguably the biggest storyline heading into this aforementioned Sunday Night Football game. Is Aaron Rodgers seriously hurt? He has hinted recently that this thumb injury that's been giving him problems is somewhat serious. And does that change the overall outlook for this game? Because a lot of people who are in Wisconsin right now, they think that Aaron Rodgers is cooked. Some media types think that this is his last year with the Green Bay Packers, and they'd rather see, if they continue to lose, what Jordan Love can do to see if he can be that next guy as compared to Aaron Rodgers. 1, if he's hurt, or 2, if he's going to move on and they're going to be in need of a quarterback. But as for this Aaron Rodgers injury, coming off back-to-back MVP campaigns, he has not been as good this year. The thumb originally got hurt against the New York Giants in London back in October 6th. He did not look crisp last week against the Tennessee Titans. We've known Aaron Rodgers to have one of the best arms in the history of the NFL. That simple flick of the wrist, the ball flawlessly flies for 30, 40, 50 yards, and he's pinpoint accurate with a lot of his throws. That was not the case against Tennessee. Could that be because of an injury? The Packers 4-7, desperate for a win, and Aaron Rodgers in his career 4-2 all-time against Philadelphia. He did go on the Pat McAfee show, and of course, his good buddy Pat McAfee did poke and prod about that injury, and here's what Aaron Rodgers had to say about it. My thumb is what it is. It's been an issue since that Giants game, but it's not an issue that I'm going to rely on for an excuse or need to. I missed 2 throws. I probably hit 99 out of 100 times, and people wonder, what's going on? Nothing's changed week to week. Well, year to year, something has changed, Aaron Rodgers, because without Davante Adams, he hasn't been the same quarterback. Won MVP last year in 2021 by going 13-3, completed nearly 69% of his passes, yards per attempt 7.7. He chucked for more than 4,000 yards and threw an astounding 37 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. But this year, the record, not good. And a big reason for this, offensive line hasn't been as good. David Bakhtiari just can't seemingly stay healthy. The ground game hasn't been as good. A.J. Dillon has been in the witness protection program, and they have desperately missed Devontae Adams. It's almost as if you trade one of the best wide receivers in the league away and don't replace him through free agency or the draft, that your offense is going to struggle, especially your quarterback. And that's what happened because his completion percentage is also down. Yards per attempt, a pretty telling numerical statistic, down from 7.7 to 6.8, so nearly a yard there. He's only thrown for 2,500 yards this year, 19 touchdowns to 4 picks. All year, he threw 4 last year. All year, he threw 4. And this year so far, 7. So he has really struggled. And for me, this is a great opportunity for this Eagles defense to rise up to the occasion. They have not played many elite quarterbacks this year. They got Kirk Cousins on primetime. They played Cooper Rush and not Dak Prescott. Against elite quarterbacks, you're going to have to face them in the playoffs. So I want to see what the Eagles can do against a desperate Aaron Rodgers-led Packers team when the lights are the brightest, when the Packers are desperate for a victory, and if Aaron Rodgers is playing to his MVP caliber self. I look at these Eagles numbers here. I want to see them prove to us that they are in fact legit, like these numbers do indicate, because they're second in yards allowed per game. They are first in takeaways, interceptions, and yards per play. Jonathan Gannon, if you sit back in that zone defense, Aaron Rodgers will have a field day. Dial up some blitzes, hit him with some multiple looks, try to confuse him so that guys like Hassan Reddick and Javon Hargrave are able to add on top of their 7+ sacks this year. So who you got in this football game? This is another one of our poll questions on today's show. Give me GB for the Green Bay Packers, PHI for the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's grate some cheese on Sunday night. And if you hate the Packers and want to see the Eagles win, type FGB in the comment section right now. Before we continue to preview this matchup, today's show is presented by Established Titles. And holiday season is here, folks. Save an extra 10% off for the perfect and most unique holiday gift by heading to establishedtitles.com/chat. And in the process, you can grab a plot of Scottish land right next to your boy here. Established Titles, a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland right here while helping global reforestation efforts. It's a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds, lords, and ladies in English. You can buy title packs, which give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land in beautiful Scotland, as we're showing you. That also comes with a unique plot number on this private estate in Edelston, and that comes with an official certificate with the crest as well, like we're showing you right now. They plant a tree with every order and work with global charities, One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future, to support global reforestation efforts. By making a purchase, you see how I'm referred to as Lord Chase Sr. here? You could include the title of Lord or Lady on your credit card, plane tickets, and dating profiles. Back in Philly for Thanksgiving, and I put Lord Chase Sr. on my plane ticket. You can do it as well. It makes for a great last-minute gift, and they're running a massive holiday sale right now with discounts up to 80% off. Plus, if you use the code CHAT on top of entering that link here to my right, establishedtitles.com/chat, you get an extra 10% off. Injury news for the Packers. We covered that with Aaron Rodgers. Let's cover it for Philadelphia. One of their interior defensive linemen, the big boy in the middle, Marlon Tuipulotu, could be lost for the rest of the regular season. Against the Commanders, it has been confirmed that he suffered a torn meniscus. And the Eagles knew that it was a knee injury at the time. They put him on IR originally, so they had an indication it could be serious, and I think that's why they signed Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph. So if they didn't make those acquisitions, the loss of Tui would certainly affect them and impact them to a greater degree. But with how well Suh and Linval Joseph played against the Colts, that's a great sign for the depth of this Eagles defense, with Jordan Davis expected to come back once he's cleared off of IR. You take a gander and a glance at the snap counts against the Colts. I was so surprised to see Suh play 17 snaps and then Linval Joseph play 26. You see who's dead last in snaps here on our graphic? Robert Quinn. He's been with this team for a couple of weeks, and he can't get more snaps than Ndamukong Suh as well as Linval Joseph. Fletcher Cox played 48. a lot less than playing 70 against Washington. He got exposed against the Commanders, but credit to him, he came back with a solid game. Javon Hargrave continues to be one of the best interior defensive linemen in the game. Josh Sweat, the Eagles sack artist. Brandon Graham has never sacked Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully he's able to do that in this football game. He had 29 snaps against the Colts, and really that game-winning play at the end with the sack of Matt Ryan, making up for that blunder of a penalty against Washington that, to his credit, shouldn't have been called last week. And then Milton Williams played good too. So the depth along this Eagles defensive line, they're going to have to show up, show out once again against Green Bay. My keys to the game here. Let's run through these for the Philadelphia Eagles to push that record to 10-1 and officially just make the Packers cooked. 6 turnovers the last 2 games for this Eagles offense. Can't continue. And that is a recipe for disaster come playoff time. The Eagles heading into Washington, plus 15 in turnover differential. They had turned it over 3 times total heading into that game. In the last 2 weeks, they have doubled that amount of turnovers with 6. That is not a winning formula whatsoever. As for Christian Watson, last 2 games for the Packers, we talked earlier about them missing Davante Adams. They have. Well, if they had Davante Adams and a speed threat in Christian Watson, that would help out Aaron Rodgers. He's been cooking, though, the rookie product out of North Dakota State, who with the Bison, formerly the home of Carson Wentz, was famous for running a 4.3 40-yard dash at 6'5". He's combined for, 4 or 5 touchdowns the last 2 weeks. Can't allow him to get loose and take the top off of that defense. Going to be a good test there for C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Marcus Epps. This is another test for this Eagles rushing defense, which last week broke a streak of 5 consecutive games of giving up 100 or more rushing yards. Get to take on another really good running back in Aaron Jones. I want to see the Eagles' offensive philosophy and play calling change a little bit. I think the last 2 weeks, loss against Washington, close win, coming back, biggest comeback deficit in 12 years for Philly. They've gotten way too pass happy and way too reliant on Jalen Hurts to make plays with his legs. Take some pressure off Jalen Hurts and keep him healthy for this stretch run by running Miles Sanders more. This offensive line for the Birds has disappointed me a little bit, but get them confident, get them moving downhill, and run the football, which then gets their swagger and confidence up for when they drop back to pass protect for Hurts. And then lastly, A.J. Brown is due for a big game. He's been missing the last couple of weeks. Statistically, he's been ranked, according to 538, as the #1 wide receiver in football on far fewer targets as compared to Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill, who were top 5 on that list, but he hasn't done anything the last 2 weeks. He was frustrated against Indy. Don't get frustrated. Pop off on Sunday Night Football. As for the Packers' defensive stats, this is how they rank and how this Eagles offense can expose Green Bay to come away with the dub. Points, 6 in the NFL, so pretty good numbers there. Sacks, they rank all the way down to 17. Turnovers, haven't been causing a lot of turnovers this year. That's why ball security is going to be at the utmost premium. Yards 21st as well. Passing yards, they're pretty good against the pass. And going back to my original key, the Packers are not good against the rush. 28th in rushing yards allowed. So I want to see Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, as well as Kenny Gainwell go off on the ground. Rushing attempts. Teams know that the Packers can't stop the run. That's why they're 28th in attempts and rushing touchdowns, 18th. So bottom half of the league in those latter 3 categories. That's why it's important for Philadelphia to run that football right down the throats of the Green Bay Packers. Predict the score. Last question for the homies here. Green Bay Packers traveling to Lincoln Financial Field. It's always a sight at the link for some Sunday Night Football. Predict the score. Who you got? And another reminder, come hang out with us for our watch party. We'll be going live for a 30-minute pregame show starting at 7:50 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you subscribe, turn on those noties. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving weekend, and I hope you all join us. All right, so predict the score here. We'll give you some shout-outs. Cool Rains, Down Under, 24-17. Camden Redden, 35-19. Ernesto, 34-21. Brian Mendoza, 30-14. So a lot of people calling for an Eagles blowout here. They are 7-point favorites over Green Bay. Last segment coming up. I want to see you get as many questions in as possible. And how many Super Chats can we get over the next 2 minutes? Anybody who sends in a Super Chat, you will be featured on our mailbag, but you got to get it in within 2 minutes. How many super chats can we get in to get featured on our mailbag? We'll give you some special shout outs here. The 2-minute shot clock is on, and here is our super chat menu. $5. We ring the Liberty Bell because Philadelphia is America's birthplace. $10. Your name on the Rocky Gloves. Anything over $10. We'll put your name here on the Rocky Gloves with a lot of our other loyal subscribers, as you can see. $20. FGB. FGB. We'll grate some cheese here. $50, we'll bring on a Cowboy fan rocking a clown mask because F Dallas and they do play on Thanksgiving. And for a $100 super chat, we'll sing the Fly Eagles Fly song and the No One Likes Us song consecutively. So we're 50 seconds in to our 2-minute super chat shot clock. How many supers can we get in 2 minutes? Guaranteed to be featured on the show. If you don't want to send in a super chat, no worries at all. Our content, 100% free, and you don't need to send in a super chat to be included on the show. All you have to do is use the hashtag Eagles to also get featured. I'm looking at the comment here from JetFry L. You're begging for money, pal. I never have to beg for money. A lot of people send in donations. We had $1,000 in super chats during our watch party in which 40,000 people joined us, and we picked up 400 new subscribers. But those of you who do donate to the show, we greatly appreciate it. It goes a long way. It helps us build our staff and give you videos every single day, so don't be a fraud and say something like that. I want to address, before we get to our next mailbag, the Eagles' rumors about them potentially adding a running back here. 2 running backs are available in free agency, Melvin Gordon as well as Darrell Henderson Jr. Melvin Gordon let go earlier this week after his 5th fumble with the Denver Broncos. Good running back who's skilled and has put forward a lot of big numbers throughout his career. Unfortunately, though, for him, his ball security has been outright trash, and that's why I would not sign Melvin Gordon if I'm Howie Roseman to back up Miles Sanders. 90 carries this year, 318 yards, 2 touchdowns, well respected. There was a rumor out there that because Russell Wilson's wife, Sierra, used to date Future, that Melvin Gordon was bumping Future songs within earshot of Russell Wilson in the locker room following their loss to the Raiders. That's been debunked by some sources here at Chat Sports. Good running back. He just coughs it up way too much. Darrell Henderson, though, is a player who I have more interest in because Darrell Henderson is younger, only 25 years old. I still think that he has good football left in him, whereas Melvin Gordon is probably on the back 9 of his career and doesn't have as much tread on the tires as compared to Melvin Gordon, and the ball security issues aren't an issue. 70 carries this year for the Rams. They did and do have the worst rushing defense in the NFL. Offensive line is horrid. 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, and pretty solid numbers there. Average yards per carry at 4, even. And a lot of running backs, they'd love to play for Philadelphia considering their scheme, the Eagles' success on the ground, and the Eagles having a very talented offensive line. So if you had to pick a running back between these 2 guys, and we did cover this on yesterday's show, it's available on the channel if you want to go back and watch it if you missed it. MG for Melvin Gordon, DH for Darrell Henderson. Who would you rather sign if you're the Birds? Let me know, and I'll give you some shout-outs real quick. Our Super Chat 2-minute shot clock did expire, but still, if you want to send in a donation, we do appreciate that. Joanne Lewis said Henderson, and I'm with you. Camden Redden, DH like 6 times. Yes, emphasize that for sure. Nick Stone, Henderson. Cool Rains, I wished Darrell Henderson. You can still wish because he's still available, my brother. Chualor, Henderson as well. Wide receiver plug, Henderson. Delaware, who's better at short yardage and those gut-punching runs? It's probably Henderson. Gordon's used a lot in the red zone and approaching the goal line because he does have a knack for scoring a lot of touchdowns in that area. But if you're turning the football over, I can't trust you at all because teams that lose the turnover battle oftentimes lose 80% of games in the NFL. What'd you say? Who? I don't think so. Did the Jags pick him up? I didn't see anything. That just happened? Oh, they just claimed him. So there you go. They claimed him on waivers. Darrell Henderson, off waivers today, officially. So now it's Melvin Gordon. That's your only choice. But it's easy to see why Henderson got picked up first, right? And I didn't catch that because we've been live for the last hour or so. It's easy to see why the Jags went for Henderson and not Gordon, because Gordon stinks. Just can't turn the football over. 5 fumbles this year, unlimited carries, can't happen. Parlay, Jordan Howard was a success. F any other running back. Sanders is playing well this year. Jordan Howard as a backup. Might have to talk about that next week. He was let go last week by the New Orleans Saints. All right, mailbag to round out the show. Get those questions in. Hashtag Eagles, better yet, Super Chat. News broke about 30 minutes ago. I got you, Elijah. I appreciate y'all for getting me up to date there. I didn't look at my tweets. I do have my tweet noties on for some important information like that, but I've been so locked into the show because I care so much about all of you. All right, let's answer your questions right now. We surpassed 100 likes. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new here for daily videos on the birds. Get those super chats in, those questions in, and we'll get you involved with the show right now. Really excited for today's Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jay Senior. Hope all of you out there are having a fantastic weekend. And if you're spending time with your families, hope you're enjoying your family time because it is very precious during the holiday season. Today's show, it's all about you. We opened up the floor. We allowed you to ask us questions. So let's dive into those without further ado. Elijah Stovall, our Super Chat MVP here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. What are the chances that Darren Sproles will come out of retirement to be our punt returner? So in case y'all missed it last week, we talked about it here on the show. Darren Sproles told Kay Adams that he thinks that he can still play as a punt returner and do kind of what Eric Weddle did last year with the Los Angeles Rams. Come out of retirement just in time for a playoff run to try to lift that team to a Super Bowl. Darren Sproles did say, I'd like to come out of retirement. I could still be a punt returner. And mentioned the Philadelphia Eagles as a potential possibility for a team that he could come out of retirement for to help them with their special teams unit. And up to this point, Elijah, you know it, I know it, everybody who watches this team closely knows it, that Britton Covey hasn't gotten the job done. Every time he returns a kick or a punt, my dude looks as though he's a fly that gets hit with the fly swatter. He just doesn't have the physical nature to run over guys in the NFL, and he gets seemingly crushed on every return. And he's been very, very average returning the ball throughout his career that's lasted in his debut season. So if Darren Sproles shows that he can still move those feet really quickly, and my man can still be an elite punt returner in this league, if you want to go after Darren Sproles to give you some punt return opportunities just in the playoffs, and you're very, very certain that his rustiness, so to speak, won't lend to him maybe coughing up the football, I'd be down. I had campaigned for Deshaun Jackson earlier in the year. Darren Sproles, he's still out there. D-Jack, he's with the Baltimore Ravens now. A $10 donation coming in from our guy, Flipping the Bird 85. Appreciate that super chat, my guy. Sup, Chase? Get Trey Sermon on the field. He can be our battering ram running back. By the way, I was the winner of the B-Dog helmet on Sunday. Thank you so much. Go Birds. Yo, that's sick. Flipping the Bird 85. Congratulations to you. And thanks for being an awesome super chatter here on the show. So Flipping the Bird 85 was our winner of the autographed Brian Dawkins helmet. And it was an awesome giveaway that we had. That's why you subscribe and you watch our content. As for Trey Sermon, I'd like to see him get on the field. But there's something fishy going on with Trey Sermon. Last year, 2021 draft, selected by the San Francisco 49ers in the 3rd round out of Ohio State. He also played with Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma before transferring to the Buckeyes. Had a great college career. Some really huge performances. Didn't do anything with San Francisco. Also was banged up last year. The Niners general manager, John Lynch, had said he just wasn't acclimated with the NFL level. Struggled in the preseason with the Niners. That's why they cut him. Then the Eagles picked him up. He actually looked okay against the Jacksonville Jaguars earlier this year on limited carries. Can he be that short yardage back? I'm not sure because he does have the size to be that, but when I've seen him play in the NFL, he's played a lot smaller than he actually is. Cool Reigns, who needs a big game against the Green Bay Packers? The defensive line. I want to see Fletcher Cox come back with a vengeance. 2 weeks ago against Washington, I was sick about his performance. Brandon Graham has never sacked Aaron Rodgers throughout his entire career. Can he finally break that streak and get after 12? Put the Packers to bed. Put the nail in the coffin. get the job done and end their season on Sunday Night Football and continue to build your lead in the NFC East and in the NFC. Make sure you come out for our watch party and hang out with us on Sunday Night Football. We'll be going live at 7:50 p.m. Eastern for a 30-minute pregame show. What we like to tell y'all about our watch parties, it's the best place to experience the game outside of being at the actual game. Last week, 400 new subscribers, 40,000 views throughout the day. We gave away a Brian Dawkins autographed helmet. As I just said, we put all of these names on these Rocky gloves because the Birds had to fight back from that first loss to Washington, and they did against the Colts, fighting back in that game from down 10. And the level of excitement, the camaraderie that we have as a Fly Eagles Fly family, it's unmatched out there. We get hype. We go through the emotional roller coaster together. I hope you all join us for our Sunday Night Football watch party right here on Eagles Now. Another $5 donation coming in from Lion Fighter X, a.k.a. LFX. Late to the party, work was nuts. We need a new return man ASAP. Appreciate you tuning in, my guy, and hope work went well. Hopefully you don't have to work for the Thanksgiving holiday and you get to hang out, kick your feet up, and watch some Eagles football, and of course our Eagles Now content. New return man, could it be Darren Sproles? Options out there, extremely limited. And that's the problem with Philadelphia right now. Britton Covey is at least sure-handed after earlier in the year dropped a couple of punts with nobody around him, but he has to be better in picking up yards to put this offense in a position to have more advantageous field position because that takes pressure off that offensive unit. Parlay, this is interesting. I love how our coaching staff at least knows the team's weakness. More senior advisors like Vic Fangio, who I think no doubt has helped out Jonathan Gannon this year. The defensive turnaround has been insane from last year to this year, and I think Vic Fangio has helped out Jonathan Gannon, and then the adjustments that we've seen take place offensively this year and last year. I mean, last year, they tried to start the year with throwing the football a lot. They started off slow. Everybody was calling for Nick Sirianni's head. Then they tapped into the players and the strengths on the roster, and they became a run-heavy team. That's why they went on that tear to make the playoffs in the first year of a rebuild. So they have shown the ability to adjust on the fly, and that's what good coaching staffs do, and good businesses for that matter. If you want to bet on this game on Sunday Night Football, make sure you do so with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. 125% deposit bonus if you head to chatsports.com/EaglesBet, promo code Eagles125. The Birds, EAGLES, 7-point favorites against the Green Bay Packers. They're 9-1. The Packers are 4-7. Over under for Green Bay and the Birds, 46.5. Kickoff slated for 8:20 p.m. Eastern, but as I said, we'll be going live for our watch party starting at 7:50 p.m. Eastern for a 30-minute pregame show. Another real one chiming in, it's Iron Mizzle. Agree or not, we need to learn how to establish the run and play calling. It's been suspect on both sides of the ball. Trace, if you could pull up my keys to the game real quick. One of my keys to the game, I don't think the Eagles have been using Miles Sanders enough the last couple of weeks. I want to see, on top of all of these keys here, this one, Iron Mizzle, to answer your question. Run Miles Sanders a little bit more because the Green Bay Packers, 28th against the rush this year. They've been bad against the ground game, and that's what the Eagles can do well. And this is an Eagles offensive line that's kind of struggled the last couple of weeks. How do you get them confident? Moving downhill, moving forward, getting that ground and pound popping. Camden Redden, when does Jordan Davis come back? Immediately when he comes off IR. So he got injured against the Pittsburgh Steelers. What was that? Back in week 8, he has to miss 4 weeks, a minimum, when you get put on IR. But the expectation, and this was a report from Adam Schefter and everything that I've heard as well, looks as though Jordan Davis is going to come back when he's eligible to come off IR, which I think is next week, now that I think about it. So Jordan Davis expected to come back very, very soon. Now, I asked y'all to subscribe. I asked y'all to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. I asked y'all to support the show. I also want to hear from you because I really enjoy hearing from you with your football intellect. Who will get the number 1 seed in the NFC? Look forward. Be the genie. Project forward. PHI for the Birds, MIN for the Minnesota Vikings, SF for the Niners, TB for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those are currently the top 4 teams in the NFC right now. And on Sunday Night Football, when it's going to be nighttime, Fittingly, the Eagles going to be rocking their black jerseys. These jerseys are fresh. Now, we've seen the black jerseys before. We have not seen the black helmets yet. The NFL had this dumbass rule where you could only have one helmet throughout the entire season. Finally, you can have duplicate helmets. So the Eagles, for the first time, will have black helmets with their all-black uniforms, and then next year, it's the Kelly Greens. Now, I'm asking you this question. I know Kelly Green would probably take the cake here, but it's not a jersey option this year for Philly. So the freshest Eagles jersey is right now, what? M for midnight green, W for the white unis, B for the black unis. Let me know, and appreciate all of you for chiming into our mailbag. All right, 4 segments in the can. Who else is doing what we're doing here on Philadelphia Eagles Now? Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Wide receiver plug. Do you remember me from the Niners Live yesterday? Yes, I do. And if y'all are salty about me covering the NFL and the Niners here at Chat Sports, imagine growing up wanting to cover the NFL for your job, and I'm able to do it right now. And I get to interact with people worldwide. It's a pretty damn cool job. So, yes, I do remember you, wide receiver plug, and to you and everybody else, I do appreciate your support. Freshest Eagles jersey is what? Let's get caught up on this. Wide receiver plug, he likes the black unis. Camden went in order. Black, midnight green, white. Lion Fighter likes those black threads as well. Iron Mizzle is right with them. Cool Rains, midnight green. Ryan Rowe, midnight green. Look at Jason popping out a mean turd. It did kind of look like that in that picture there. Okay, last call to send in any super chats. I'm getting a flight just after midnight from Dallas to fly back to Philadelphia. I'll be in a good mood if we can get to $100 in super chats or more. We're currently at $67. So first, of course, we'd like to get to $69. Then after that, get those super chats in. Here is our super chat menu, and we're going to save some beers for Thanksgiving because throughout this weekend, we'll be drinking heavy, and we'll be drinking heavy for our Sunday Night Football watch party as well. $5 super chat. We ring the Liberty Bell for you. I have to ring it there for Lion Fighter X, who sent in that $5 super chat. $10, your name on the Rocky Gloves here. $20, FGB will also grate some cheese, F those Packers, because we want to end their season on Sunday Night Football. $50 super chat will bring on a Cowboy fan rocking a clown mask, and for $100, we'll sing Fly Eagles Fly and No One Likes Us. I'll make a deal. If we get $33 more to get to 100, then we'll sing Fly Eagles Fly, No One Likes Us consecutively. So we're $33 away. If you want to support the show, it's your last chance to do that. I'm going to put on the 2-minute shot clock here. If any super chats come in within 2 minutes, we will stay live. If no more super chats come in, then we'll sign off. And the next time that we'll see you live and hang out will be Sunday Night Football. Lion Fighter! LFX on the gloves. Say less. Elijah! $33 gets us there as well. Elijah, Elijah, Elijah. Lion Fighter X. 2 super chats coming in to keep us live. So I'll reset the shot clock here in a second. But first, got to put LFX on here. And I'm going to put a big LFX here on these gloves. I'm going to put it on a premium spot too. Let's see. Where can I put it? The thumb's pretty good. We already are giving this to Alling. So we wrote Alling. We appreciate you. We have Eagles Now in the bottom strap. Let me look for a good spot. Where do you want it, LFX? Where do you want your name on here? Where do you want it? I'm thinking like maybe right here, or we can go on the thumb right here. Both premium spots. Let us know where you want it, LFX. Anywhere. Say less. What do you think, Trez? On the strap could be kind of cool. Lion Fighter's a real one. So we'll put them right on the strap. There you go. Premium spot, LFX. We appreciate you, brother. And we got past $100 in super chats. So on the other side of us doing the Fly Eagles Fly theme song and No One Likes Us, we'll restart that 2-minute shot clock in the meantime. If you want to send in any super chats, you can. There were people in the chat during our watch party on Sunday saying that the Eagles theme song is bad. They have to be Colts fans, right? Is there any Eagles fan out there that doesn't like the Fly Eagles Fly theme song? If so, you're crazy. Elijah with the 33 piece Which do you want to see more? KC against Philly, the Kelsey Bowl, or Bills Philadelphia? Because America might go up in flames with the two most rowdy fan bases in the NFL. I'll put the Raiders up there as well, top 3. That's a good question. I think the Bills are a more beatable team because they have more holes. Patrick Mahomes going up against this Eagles defense and Jonathan Gannon, that would scare me a lot because I think he'd be able to carve up this Eagles defense. I also think the Bills have more of a suspect defense that the Eagles could exploit a little bit, and they've had some underwhelming games in some big playoff spots throughout their franchise history. Plus, that would be a lot of fun. So for the sake of the opponent and getting a dub, I go Buffalo Bills, Elijah. That's a really good question right there. Yeah. Very nice. All right, we'll sing the Fly Eagles Fly song, and then we'll do the No One Likes Us. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fight, Eagles, fight. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! No one likes us, no one likes us, no one likes us, we don't care. We're from Philly, fucking Philly. No one likes us, we don't care. No one likes us, no one likes us, no one likes us, we don't care. We're the Eagles, the fucking Eagles. No one likes us, we don't care. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Let's go. A couple of questions came in using that hashtag Eagles, so Trace can pop those up. And I will start our 2-minute shot clock. We already got past our goal of $100 in Super Chats. If you want to send in any more, you can send it in. Go back to our, hold on. So let's read these real quick. Camden Redden, who's going to wear the cheese hat like Sauce Gardner? Here it is right here. Here's the cheese hat. Here's the cheese grater. FGB, 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 FGB. Let's put the Packers in the dirt, all right? Sunday Night Football, end their season, and send Aaron Rodgers to the San Francisco 49ers or some other team that CBS Sports had listed as Aaron Rodgers destinations. Wide receiver plug, when are you going to be live again? Philadelphia Eagles Now will be live for our Sunday Night Football watch party. Wide receiver plug, I gotcha. All right, we're about a minute into our 2-minute shot clock. Any super chats within 2 minutes, we'll stay live. If not, we'll sign off. All good at the end of the day. $5, we'll ring the Liberty Bell. $20, your name on the Rocky gloves, just like Lion Fighter X got his name on the Rocky gloves. $20 or more, FGB will grate some cheese. $50, bring on a Cowboy fan in a clown mask, and for $100, that's just what we did. Fly Eagles fly, no one likes us. No. That's what we talked about a little bit earlier. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Broken thumb since week 5 for Aaron Rodgers, so that's officially confirmed. That's what we talked about earlier. That's why you subscribe. All right, 20 seconds left to get any super chats. If not, we'll sign off. Do have to get a flight a little after midnight, so we can't get too rowdy. But on Sunday Night Football, we will be getting rowdy right here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. All right, about to do our 10-second runoff here. Then we'll give you the grace of about a 20-second delay for those of you watching on delay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, for those of you watching on delay, we'll give you about 10, 20 seconds to get in any super chats. You're making me ready for the Eagles from Delaware. Go Birds. That's what we try to do. Dong from Camden Redden. Yeah, you already know the deal. All right. That's going to do it for our live show. We do appreciate everybody who tuned in. 4-segment live shows. We are just pumping out content because we are the content daddies. To all of you who watched us here on today's show, we do appreciate that. Elijah Stovall, once again, our Eagles Now Super Chat MVP, $110 in donations. It allows us to continue to build our staffs here at Chat Sports and Build News Studios as we continue to grow like a company. So your support goes a long way. Next time we will be live, Sunday Night Football. But up until then, videos every single day. Make sure you turn on those noties because therefore when we do go live and push out a video, you will be notified and you will be staying in the know with all things birds year-round. We're out here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Have a great Thanksgiving, and once again, thanks for tuning in.
Eagles Now, we get busy chasing Trizzy. Eagles Now, cruising birds, we keep it litty. Eagles Now, pre-game, post-game, make it look easy. Eagles Now, no one likes us, please believe it. Eagles Now, super chats, we keep them coming. Eagles Now, Jalen a booby, keep it running. Eagles Now, shots downtown, AJ Brown. Eagles Now, if you ain't know, you know it now. Eagles Now.